They're saying with frame.
Hello, hello, the internet. Welcome to today's tactical decision making games. We seem to be a little low on the participation, so I'm not sure how much we're going to get into it today. Make sure I'm screen sharing just in case people do show up. Boom. Alright, I wanted to cover pretty much current events, right? And what we can, what we should do in theory about these types of things. Try to skirt legalities as best as I can, right? This isn't this isn't a call to action. I'm not suggesting that anybody run out tomorrow and go do anything. This is just a thought experiment to explore concepts and tactics. All right. So the scenario we have going on currently is that in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as well, I'm sure many other major cities across America, has specifically here a large Somali community that's taken hold, Somali immigrant community, and they have been scamming the federal and state government for a bunch of money, as well as not assimilating and being a general nuisance and all that sort of stuff. I apologize, I have a bit of cold right now, so bear with me. Welcome, welcome. What we got popping in here? Mean Sardine. So, the scenario I was going to paint was basically 1 month into the future from here. And then so people are coming up, like YouTubers and individual journalists independent journalists are coming up and trying to film things, ask people questions, knock on doors. They're starting to get more and more aggressive and aggravated responses, and starting to have groups of people show up to respond to these questions rather than just one person answering the door. We're already seeing this happen. So the scenario I'm going to paint is that 1 month into the future, despite Trump cutting off all of the funding and everything that he has for them, the state of Minnesota, as well as several NGOs and nonprofits, have stepped in, and they haven't one-for-one matched, but they are still pumping a good amount of money into all these quote-unquote small businesses. So that's going on. Still a problem that has to be solved, as well as the Somalians themselves have begun to get more aggressive. Right, so if they notice that you're filming them from your car, sometimes groups of men will come out and beat on your vehicle with sticks. Sometimes they will throw paint on your vehicle. They have pepper sprayed people knocking on doors. They have just like mobbed, grouped up on people and fucking intimidated them, gotten them to go away that way. So the violence in this theoretical scenario is definitely starting to tick up a little bit. And so now not only is this, an issue for economics and governance, but now this is a issue of safety for the indigenous local population that did not immigrate here. So what I was hoping we would get to talk about today is like the steps and the procedures we could go through in theory before we are ourselves doing outright violence, right? I don't know if anybody has heard this before, but the shout, show, shove, shoot. If you're trying to deal with like crowds of people or peacekeeping operations, right? So the first step you want to do is just shout at somebody, right? Get back, stop that. The next would be shove, physically, push them back, take the stick from them, do a minimal level of physical, touch and get physical, a little hands-on a little bit. And then the next one would be show. So essentially brandish, do whatever it is, display that you have lethal intent, right? If this continues to escalate, this will become lethal. And then lastly, if it's continue to escalate, then it does turn into a lethal situation, right? So that is I'm an individual trying to keep this, this humanitarian line of people picking up food calm and good. That's the steps I would go through. So if I shot somebody, I needed to have shouted at them, shoved them, showed them before I skipped all the way to doing violent action. So in a similar headspace, but not on the individual level, on a larger area-wide or squad level, tactic mindset. How can we do some sort of shout, shove, show? Um, so this is where I was hoping we get a lot of group participation that we're not seemingly not going to have today, and that's okay. I'll ramble a little bit and see if some more people show up. Right, something you see a lot of people do, a lot of governments do that can be recreated is sound, and we see this used against homeless populations in places like LA and other large cities. Right, so if we can set up speakers that just blast annoying music or just annoying tones or sounds around places, that can discourage individuals from staying there, congregating there, coming outside, doing business there, whatever the case is, right? And we are not necessarily committing violence to anybody. We're not hurting anybody. Another one that's common from a lot of militaries, Israel took this one to the next level. They have is smell, right? Stinky, stinky. They have like an armored vehicle. Israel does that sprays this specialized like smell bad poop liquid. They call it the skunk cannon, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So, put that in your own. Find ways to do that on your own. Hide a bunch of rotting fish somewhere. Get creative with it. I don't want to say too much, but if we can, discourage people from being here without doing violence, then it's better, right? Hopefully, we can have peaceful means, and then also it protects us. It insulates us from legal trouble, or at least as intense of legal trouble, for obvious reasons. So, play chess, not checkers. Think about things. Don't always just be a Neanderthal. Don't always just crash in straight ahead. Use your brain and think of creative and inventive ways to mold the reality around you to as you see fit, to what is best and what is good and what is right as you know it to be.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you, Phil.
Okay, cool. A little late to the party. Yeah, it made me think of the Dutch farmers, spraying manure everywhere, like what you mentioned earlier. I don't know if you guys touched on that before I got here.
No, it's just me rambling a little bit before you got here, but yeah. Yeah, we had pretty low participation, so I don't know what we're gonna. I'm actually sick too. I have a cold, so I'm feeling like trash, and basically nobody showed up hardly. Okay. So we'll see how it goes. If a couple people pop in all of a sudden, I'm happy to play. But I am curious if you have any ideas on that subject, what you would have to say.
Let me see. As far as like the escalation of force.
Yes, right. So like obviously, you can't just go get rid of them, go shoot at them or whatever, right? That's going to be a big problem, and we're not there yet in society, and they're not there yet. That would be a mismatched escalation of force, and you would now be the bad guy, objectively, correctly, truthfully. So we have to not do that, but then do something rather than just stand idly by and allow society to continue to deteriorate. So just exploring gray area tactics and techniques in theory that other people could take and continue to apply their own creativity upon and use if and whenever they find it necessary.
It's interesting thinking about it because I haven't in a little while, and I kind of haven't had to. So far, most of my experiences have kind of been with just generally kind of shitty areas and shitty places and scurrilous people and all that. Like, if you look like you have teeth, generally they don't fuck with you.
Sure.
But we're at the point where there's blood in the water for America, and it's approaching more and more. So, not sure how to scale it. I don't know that I could add a whole lot more to what you said, other than hey, be loud. I think Craig Douglas has some interesting material on this, but it's like individualized, and that's kind of what I'm familiar with. I don't know about like, at the team level setting policy for like an organization, what it would be.
Sure.
Maybe other than like, putting up a road sign or whatever, but I mean, you have more experience with this than I do, certainly with like roadblocks and stuff in Iraq or Afghanistan,
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, yep. Vehicle Checkpoint's got a video on that. Um, yeah, I just was thinking about exploring slashing tires is another classic one, right? That's property damage, so you're doing a crime, but it's low level. You're not going to go to the state penitentiary for 20 years for slashing tires, and it fucking sucks. It sucks when your tires get slashed one time. It really fucking sucks if your tires have been slashed 6 times in a month. You start being like,
Dumping
damn, I don't even want to drive. I don't want to deal with this anymore.
dumping a box of 16 and 8 penny nails out of the bed of your truck down a street will make it pretty fucked for a while.
Yep.
Another good one to add on, as a decade Portland liver, we used bear mace a lot because the city and the cops never did anything about the homeless people. So bear mace, we'd buy it in cash in another town or county, not off of fucking Amazon or whatever.
Sure.
I know somebody, and there's a couple of people, and I don't know really who they are. I may know them or not, but they set up, like, you can just tripwire activate those things with the nozzle.
Sure.
So if you have like a nice boat that they keep trying to break into the back of your yard for and trying to saw off the hitch lock,
Yeah.
eventually you just set up a tripwire, and it is some of the funniest footage you'll ever see. Motherfuckers getting hit with bear mace.
That is really interesting. That is good. A good pro tip.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's dangerous to do, like, because you don't want to crimp it down and throw it. That's like those tear gas grenades,
Mm-hmm.
You crimp it down and then you spray yourself while you're throwing it. But, it's the same thing. We used to use a lot. We did this out camping because the homeless people are in the national forest and they are not good people. Those tripwire traps from Fifth Ops, they work really fucking well.
Hell yeah.
Very cool. So funny you mentioned that. I don't know if you remember the conversation in the Discord, but I just ordered a bunch of those, and I've got them in a box and everything. I need to test them out, but I kind of want to get out of the city before I do so. New Year's actually would have been a great opportunity to do that.
Yeah.
Because
did you get? You got the ones, the shotgun shell primer ones, right?
So yeah, and I got the adapters for like the 22 and the 308 blank because you probably carry a 308 shells for other stuff. It says 7.62 by 51s, but I imagine you could use any kind of 7.62.
Yeah,
and,
as long as it fits in the end.
Yeah, and I'm curious. There was a bunch of crazy ass Mexicans that did this, but apparently like 12 gauge shotgun shells and like 50 BMG is only like a few thousandths of an inch off of each other with whatever tolerance they create those with at the factory. So it'll take a 50 BMG, and I don't know. Apparently it works. Not that I have those.
It can be angled at any direction.
Yeah, I mean, if you want to get really sick, I mean, I guess you could stick a pipe in it in some way.
Yeah.
And or just mush the shotgun shell, far enough down the pipe, and then if you wanted to do that.
We definitely have, like, there's been multiple times where we set them up or have, this is obviously like way back because we were just living in like a rental house, you know what I mean? It was just in some shitty neighborhood that was built in like 1949. So just tiny, no fences, tiny houses. And dude, we'd set those up there. They're really, really fucking way louder than you'd think. And even at night, like being able to hear that and the deterrence that it's given, like we've had times at night where people are trying to break into the trucks while we're sleeping. You hear pop, pop, pop. And people, they are fucking gone, like engines speeding away from running back to their truck over the hill. Like it was a good deterrence.
Cool. Yeah.
So much like in legitimate warfare, where we're like actually shooting at people, and then we're gonna do guerrilla tactics, right? Because we don't have the stronger, larger, more powerful military.
Things like that. Are you guys there? Can you hear me? Did I cut out?
My bad. I was muted. I was yapping, but I was muted.
Okay.
So much like guerrilla warfare, if we're actually shooting at each other, like legitimate warfare with violence, the goal of the guerrilla fighter is to fight in a way not to dominate or to win, but to continually annoy the enemy, essentially. Make it too expensive, make it too complicated, and make it just shitty, annoying, hard for the soldiers, not cool for the people back home to watch, all that kind of stuff, right? So if we're gonna apply, right, we're fighting this is like a non-violent guerrilla warfare scenario. So with that thought process of like, how do I make being here for these people so shitty and attainable that they will voluntarily leave, or it will at a minimum like massively disrupt their operations. That is the goal, right? That's the mindset that you should be at. To just day by day, week by week, month by month. It's not that any one thing you're going to do is going to like win it or be a game changer, but like I was talking about tire slashing, right? It sucks to get your tire slashed one time, you get your tire slashed 6 times in 2 weeks. Now you're starting to be like, maybe I don't have a car anymore. I just can't drive a car because every other day my tires get slashed. So now I have to Uber everywhere, or I have to park my car in my garage, which means I have to clean my garage out, which means I don't have my office in there anymore, or whatever the hell, you know what I'm saying, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So,
Hell yeah.
what's up, Do Asphalt?
Hey, it's going all right. Sorry I'm late, guys.
Yeah, no problem, brother. We are just discussing. Try to summarize this, right? So there's if you're doing humanitarian operations, there's a procedure called shout, show, shove, shoot. I might be getting shove and show swapped back and forth. I forget, but it doesn't matter. The point is, if you're dealing with somebody, you're not in a direct open combat. Before you just smoke somebody because they weren't doing what you wanted them to, there's like steps you have to go through to try to encourage them to behave properly, right? Shout at them, hey, don't do that. Shove them, stop, get back. Show them, I have a fucking gun, I'm going to shoot you if you keep doing this. And then lastly, if they keep doing it, you shoot them. So a same concept, right? That there's an issue in society with an immigrant invasion, and they are being disruptive to society. Don't have to go down all those rabbit holes. We're already on the same page. And right. So now we cannot go and just shoot them. That would legitimately be bad. We would be bad guys to do that, objectively. So now, but we also, it would be immoral as well for us to just sit in our living rooms by and do nothing while, the greater part of society is just steamrolled. And it's quite obvious our government isn't going to do anything, so this is a place to talk about, in theory, what actions could you take that would be acceptable, that would possibly yield you the results you wanted, and would not be excessive force. There's the word I'm looking for, right? We can't use excessive force. So we were talking about stuff like, sound and smell, right? So loudspeakers playing annoying music or annoying tones, smells, leaving, whatever, bad smelling stuff places, light vandalism, right? Like disrupting their ability to transport themselves with the vehicles, disrupting their ability to use their parking lot, like dumped a bunch of nails in their parking lot, stuff like that, right? Light levels of misdemeanor vandalism. Yeah.
I got one.
Yeah, let's hear it. I'm all ears.
So just thinking about this with all the stuff going on with Somalis, a lot of these people are from, very hot countries. It's winter right now. So again, thinking with the, along the lines of like property damage, not violence against people, but just property damage, bust windows, break heating or like air conditioning systems, heating, and then, make things really cold for them. They don't like that. Yeah,
I would say especially at buildings of business, not domicile. I mean, depending on how medieval you want to go. But if you're trying to be a nice guy, right, you'd be like, I don't want to freeze the kids in their bed. But I would like to make it to when they tried to come do business here, they're like, oh, I can't. Never mind, this is actually closed. I have to tell the state that this is closed so I don't get my scam money this week or whatever, because it's too fucking cold for you to be in here. I'll let you make those decisions on your own. Just throwing out cause and effect situations.
Yeah, no, you're right. That's definitely the second and third order effects that I wasn't thinking about, and those are the ones that get you. So, yeah, I like it.
All tactics are acceptable in the appropriate time and place. So you just have to fucking be a good person and figure that out and think about that and apply them appropriately. right? Not every time is time to kill everybody and salt the earth. Alrighty, anybody else got anything exciting and interesting they'd like to add? Then I think we pretty much got this information out into the public sphere. All 33 people that joined us at one point or another during this talk. So there it is. Think about those things. Think about when you would apply them. Think about how you would apply them. Think about what it was you would do. Think about, as we just talked about, the second and third order effects of that. If I do this, then this is going to happen, which is going to cause this, which is going to cause that. Make sure you're not thinking things through all the way. Yeah, I guess that will do it for us tonight. Pretty short, pretty brief. Hopefully next week, holidays will be good and over. I'll be feeling better, and we'll be locked on, ready to do a full-blown tactical decision game.
Very cool. Very cool. I got computer parts and more stuff on the way. So, yeah, it's being worked on.
Awesome, brother. Just let me know either way. All good.
Absolutely, man. I love these. So, yeah, looking forward to being able to do them again.
Yes, sir. Me too. All right, guys.